Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and I'm going to be doing another movie review for you guys. However, this time, the movie I'm going to be reviewing to you, I'm sure not a lot of you have heard about. And let me explain something about this movie. Okay, so I really didn't know anything about this movie either. I've never heard of this movie. But I was looking at people's top 10 lists for 2014. And this movie kept coming up. This movie kept coming up on that list. And I'm just like to myself, what is this? So I look it up, and I wasn't sure what it is. And then I see that it's coming out on, it's coming out on Blu-ray this Tuesday. So when I find that out, I ended up renting it on iTunes. And so yeah, I ended up renting it on iTunes. And the reason I did is because I felt this movie could possibly crack my top 10 list. It seemed like it was a movie that might be able to crack my top 10 list. So I checked out the movie and everything, and I just finished watching it, and overall, what did I think of that movie is Only Lovers Left Alive. Yeah, so I checked it out on iTunes, I rented it on iTunes, didn't know what to think about this movie. I had zero expectations for this movie. Zero. Zero expectations. All I knew is that people were calling it a very good movie, it had a very good cast, and it was about vampires. That's all I knew. So overall, I checked out the movie, and what did I think of Only Lovers Left Alive? Only Lovers Left Alive was really good. It is not a masterpiece in any way. It is not a masterpiece. It has quite a few issues, in my opinion. Definitely some things I wish they would have proved upon. One major issue, definitely. A couple minor complaints, but there's one major complaint that I definitely have with the movie. Like, one major complaint. Many minor complaints, but there is, like, one huge, major complaint that I really do want to talk about, because there was something that this movie did that I wasn't exactly happy about that they did, and I would have wanted them to do more with what they decided to do, and I wasn't exactly happy with that. So basically, let's talk about what Only Lovers Left Alive is about, in case you guys don't know, which I'm sure you don't, because it's not a very well-known movie. It's not a movie that I think a lot of you have heard about, and I don't think it's a movie that a lot of people know. That's the thing about this movie. I don't think it's a movie that a lot of people know about. Basically, this movie is about this couple named Adam and Eve. Very funny, because they are the, oldest living couple ever, because they've lived for countless centuries. They are vampires, and they've influenced the careers of very famous musicians and scientists, and, they're kind of separated at this point. They're kind of going different directions. Adam is a reclusive musician. He spends his days recording, CDs on outdated studio equipment, and, he is convinced that humanity is doomed, and continually refers to us humans as zombies. He refers to us as zombies. He is not happy with the state of the world at all. He does not want to look at technology, and his wife, Eve, is pretty much the exact opposite. She has spent the past several years living in Tangira, where she purchases her blood supply from another vampire, and she one day ends up Eve ends up calling Adam on FaceTime, basically, on FaceTime, and he, at this point, is at the end of his rope. He's ready to just kill himself. He tries to, kill himself. He's contemplating suicide, but he ends up getting a call from her, which convinces him not to go through with it. However, fearing for his life, she flies to Detroit, and they reunite. And for most of the movie, it's them reuniting, having a good time, and they're enjoying each other's company and things like that. And then, of course, the movie changes, because then Eva's younger sister, Ava, arrives, and she kind of spoils their fun, and that's kind of what the movie's about. Yeah, the movie is not really a movie that has a consistent plot. Really, I would call this movie a sort of series of events. That's really what this movie is. It's a series of events. There's not a big recurring storyline. The recurring storyline is that they're together, this is their life, here you go, this is their life. That's really the storyline of this movie. It's not the most recurring storyline. It's not the most interesting story, but there is some really interesting stuff about it, especially with the fact that they've lived for a while. We'll get to that. But let's get to the acting in this movie. The acting in this movie is very good. I do have one problem with the acting, though, and we're going to get to that. Let's first talk about our two leads. Tom Hiddleston as Adam is fantastic. I thought he was great. I loved hearing him rant about the current state of the world. When he actually talked about that, when he said that, he actually, he actually wanted to, he actually made me think about that. When he called us zombies, it really does make sense if you think about it. We're constantly on our phones, we're constantly on technology, we're constantly using that stuff, we're constantly doing that stuff. It kind of makes us like zombies. We're not doing anything else. We're just, you know, to the world. It does make sense when he called us zombies, definitely. And I thought, and the thing is, you wouldn't, if he was a regular human, I read this somewhere. I watched What the Flicks review, and I have to agree what they said. Basically, Alonso Duralde said this. I don't like What the Flick, but Alonso Duralde said this in his review. He said it because he's like, they're the only people that have reviewed this movie, I think. Not very many people reviewed this movie. He basically said that if you were to, if he was not a vampire, you wouldn't be able to understand why he's saying this. You'd be like, oh, fine, you're just a hipster. But no, he's a vampire. He's gone through different centuries. He's been with, like, Nikola Tesla. He's been with Shakespeare. There are countless references to many other centuries he's been in. So I thought he definitely did a very good job. Not as good as Loki, obviously. Nothing can compare to his Loki performance, but he still gave a very good performance, in my opinion. I really enjoyed his acting in this movie. Tilda Swinton was also very good as his wife Eva. As his wife Eve. She was also very, very good in the movie. I like the chemistry between the two of them. They had very nice, playful chemistry, definitely. Very good, lover chemistry. Not like the best lover chemistry or anything, but they were good lover chemistry, in my opinion. And now let's talk about but in my opinion, the best acting in this movie comes from Mia Wasikowska as Ava. And she comes in at the best point of the movie, in my opinion. The best point of the movie. She comes in when the couple is having a great time. She just literally crashes into their apartment, lives there. But my main complaint with her character is that she's only in a third of the movie. And she's the most interesting character, in my opinion. Because while these two characters are lamenting about how bad the world is, she's loving it. She's loving how the world is. She's having the time of her life. Like, she's just loving how the world is. She doesn't care how the world is. She's having a great time. She's very modern. She's a complete opposite of Adam and Eve. It was hilarious to watch. I thought she did a great job. Stole the show, in my opinion. Mia Wasikowska stole the show. I thought she was absolutely fantastic. Just really, really funny. I mean, this movie is not really meant to be taken seriously, and her character really did show that. She was definitely very funny in the movie. Really enjoyed her acting. Definitely the best acting, in my personal opinion. John Hurt as Marlo, he kind of plays the guy that's giving them blood, supplying blood for them. He was very good in the movie. Thought he was very funny. Definitely really enjoyed his character. And the only person we'll talk about is Anton Yelchin as Ian. I liked his character. He's basically Adam's best friend. I thought he was definitely very good. And I really enjoyed his acting as well. Definitely very good. So that's basically all the acting, and again, my complaint with this movie is that I would have wanted to see a lot more of Ava's character. I loved her character. I love seeing the three of them, get into these situations. I love seeing, there's this one scene where she's watching, like, this modern television show, and they're like, what the hell are you watching? And she's, like, loving it. It's hilarious to watch. It's really funny. I mean, it just made the movie a lot more funny. She made the movie so much better, in my opinion. When she arrived, I loved the movie. And then but then she ends up doing something stupid, which makes her leave the movie. Not gonna, I'll talk about that in the spoilers, what ends up making her leaving. But when she left, I was kind of, like, not as happy with the movie. I mean, I was like, why did she have to leave? I really enjoyed her character. Her character, as I said, was probably the best part of the movie. Now, you guys may say, oh, her character you're not really supposed to like. I loved her character, okay? I thought her character really made the movie better. In fact, I thought her character was gonna make the two, Adam and Eve. I thought she was gonna make the two characters, Adam and Eve, actually like the New World. I thought that's what her character was gonna do, but she didn't end up doing that at all, and that was one of my issues with the movie. Let's get to directing this movie. This is not the best directing I've seen from Jim Jarmusch. I mean, he did good directing here, definitely. He very much set the tone well. Definitely set the tone well, very, like, dark, very dark comedy, definitely. He set the tone well. I enjoyed the tone of his directing. Nothing special there, really. The screenplay was good. I thought the screenplay was really good, definitely. I thought he wrote a good screenplay. Cinematography was definitely very good. Cinematography was one of the best parts of this movie by far. Beautiful, beautiful cinematography. The way he opens up this movie, you see, like, the two of them, like, you see, like, the camera, like, spinning on the two of them. It's really cool the way it's done, definitely. I thought the cinematography was definitely very good. The editing, here's my complaint with the movie, is the editing. This movie is 2 hours and 3 minutes, and I did not think it needed to be that long at all. You could have cut it down to an hour 40, that would have been fine, but not 2 hours and 3 minutes. I thought that was a little bit too long for this movie. There were a lot of scenes that dragged on too long. There's this one scene in the doctor's office, where Adam's with this doctor, and it was very boring in my opinion. I was not really into that scene at all. There were a lot of scenes in this movie I was not that into. There were some scenes that took a little while to get going. Definitely this movie took a little while to get going. Once Ava was on the screen, it was very fun, but when she was not on the screen, the movie's not as fun, and that's really my issue with the movies, that when Ava's not on the screen, the movie is not as fun. Yes, the movie's fun, but I would have wanted to see more of this playfulness from her. I really loved her character, and that's really what I loved about the movie, was her character in particular. Definitely, she gave the best acting. It's also probably the best acting I've seen from Mia Wasikowska. I'm not a huge fan of her. I'm really not. She hasn't done many roles that I've been really happy about. Most of her movies I haven't really been that into. Stoker, I didn't like that movie. I hated Alice in Wonderland. Hated that movie. Hated the remake of it. Hated it. I have not seen Jane Eyre. I heard that's good. But Only Lovers Left Alive is really the first movie I've seen where she really was a very good character, and I loved her character in this movie. I thought she was just really, really fun to watch, definitely. Now let's talk about the spoilers to this movie. Spoilers, sorta. You guys, get that sorta. Let's get to the spoilers. If you guys have not seen Only Lovers Left Alive, I am gonna say a few spoilers here. So, all right. So here's the thing about Only Lovers Left Alive. When Ava left, I think the movie did get better, but when, of course, Ava had to drink Ian's blood, I thought that's how the movie should have ended. With them, with her killing Ian like that. I thought that's how the movie should have ended, personally. The way that worked out, definitely. Instead, having them deal with Ian's murder. After that, they run away. They go back to where Eve was living in Tangieri, in Paris, and they meet up with Marlo. Of course, Marlo dies. They're running low on blood supply, and of course, the movie ends with them drinking blood from that young couple, and that's really how the movie ended. Now, I was not exactly really happy with how the movie ended, because here's my thing. I would have wanted to see at least one more scene with Ava. I know you guys are saying, why are you talking about Ava so much? Because she's the best character in the movie. She really is, in my opinion. She steals the show. She really does. There are some supporting roles that are really good. She is one of the best supporting roles, definitely. I don't think it's Oscar-worthy or anything, but she really just made the movie a lot more fun. I would have wanted to see more scenes with her, because the movie just ends with her getting kicked out and we don't see her after that. I would have wanted to see more scenes with her. I would have wanted to see where she goes after that. I would have wanted that, definitely. Because if she's booked as the third main character of this movie, we need to see more scenes of her. She's in a third of the movie, and that really bothered me, definitely. Definitely, John Hurt has more scenes than she does, and I wasn't even that into his character. I understand he was there for, blood supply and things like that, but I was not really into his character that much. I really loved her character the most. She just provided a lot of life to the movie, and I thought she was a lot better, in my opinion. Really enjoyed her character. And of course, when she drank Ian's blood, I mean, I don't know. The thing with her drinking Ian's blood, I thought that was done weirdly. I mean, she just randomly drinks his blood. I understand why she did it, but, I don't think she should have gotten kicked out of the house for that. I don't think she should have. I think what should have happened was, I think they should have... Okay, here's what I think should have happened. If you wanted to keep her around the movie, you should have killed her off, honestly. I would have been happy if they killed her off. I would have understand why, because, Adam and Eve, they don't want to have fun. They don't want to, they're not modern like her. They're not into fun and things like that. They're not like her at all. So if you really want to keep her around, have them go into this difficult situation where, should we kill her, or is she going too far, or should we let her stay? That would have been interesting. If they would have done that, that would have been interesting to see. But the movie really did not do that. The movie really, in my opinion, didn't have that much of a plot. It really didn't. After Eve came to live with Adam, it didn't have much of a plot, really, and that really was the whole movie. So that really ruined the movie for me. I was not into the movie after that, and while the movie was very good, I just was not as into the movie as I wanted to be, and that's all I have to say. So it definitely is not going to crack my top 10 list, so I'm going to say that right now. The movie is not going to crack my top 10 list. There were some interesting things I like that they did with this movie, definitely. There were a lot of interesting things I really liked they did with this movie. I liked that they set the tone very well, but my only issue with this movie is, this movie sometimes does not know what it wants to be, if it wants to be serious or if it wants to be silly. It's not a dramedy, in my opinion. It is a comedy, like, horror comedy, though. It, like, doesn't really know what it wants to be, and that was my other problem with the movie. But that's it for my review of Only Lovers Left Alive. Let me know what you guys saw this movie. What do you guys think of Mia Wasikowska? I thought she was the best actress in the movie, definitely. I thought she just added a lot of life to the movie. What do you guys think of the main shoe? I thought Tilda Swinton and Tom Hiddleston had very good chemistry, definitely. I thought they were definitely very good. Don't get me wrong, they were very good. I just thought Ava's character really was the best character in the movie. What do you guys think of the cinematography, editing, all that kind of stuff? Do you guys think this movie deserves top 10? I really don't. I don't think it deserves my top 10, definitely. It's not going to be in my top 10 list. That's been my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in my next video, which will be for another movie review. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.